Virginia, and Prabhuji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam 7.13.8 verse. So, Prabhuji, please take over the call now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, can you also make me a co-host? I can share the screen.
Yes, Prabhuji. Just a minute. 7.14.8.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, Text 8. Chapter 14 is titled Ideal Family Life because this is a conversation between Yudhishthira Maharaj and Narada Muni, and multiple topics are being explained by Sri Narada Muni. He talked about the various ashramas, and then he talked about the duties of a vanaprastha, duties of a brahmachari, duties of a sannyasi. And now Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking about his situation. He is a householder, he is a grahastha. So he is asking Narada Muni to describe the how an ideal householder will live a life. So he is talking about Grihastha Ashram. He is asking about Grihastha Ashram, and Narada Muni is talking about Grihastha Ashram. So this chapter is about that. And we have seen 7 verses so far in this chapter. And from today, we are going to read from verse 8 onwards. Yavat briyeta jataram tavat svatvam hi dehinam adhikam yobi manyeta sasteno dandamarhati. One may claim proprietorship to as much wealth as required to maintain body and soul together. But one who desires proprietorship over more than that must be considered a thief, and he deserves to be punished by the laws of nature. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. By God's favor, we sometimes get large quantities of food grains or suddenly receive some contribution or unexpected profit in business. In this way, we may get more money than needed. So, how should that be spent? There is no need to accumulate money in the bank merely to increase one's bank balance. Such a mentality is described in Bhagavad Gita chapter 16, text 13 as asuric, demoniac. Idam madhyam maya labdam imam prapse manoratam idam asti idam api me bhavishyati punardanam. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. The Asura is concerned with how much wealth he has in the bank today and how it will increase tomorrow. But unrestricted accumulation of wealth is not permitted either by the Shastra or in the modern age by the government. Actually, if one has more than one requires for his necessities, the extra money should be spent for Krishna. According to the Vedic civilization, it should all be given to the Krishna consciousness movement as ordered by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 27. Yat karoshi yat ashnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. Grahasthas should spend extra money only for the Krishna consciousness movement. The Grahasthas should give contributions for constructing temples of the Supreme Lord and for preaching of Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Krishna consciousness all over the world. Shrinvan Bhagavato Abhikshanam Avatara Katamritam. In the Shastras, the Puranas, and the other Vedic literatures, there are so many narrations describing the transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everyone should hear them again and again. For example, even if we read the entire Bhagavad Gita every day, all 18 chapters, in each reading we shall find a new explanation. That is the nature of transcendental literature. The Krishna consciousness movement therefore affords one an opportunity to spend his extra earnings for the benefit of all human society by expanding Krishna consciousness. In India, especially, we see hundreds and thousands of temples that were constructed by the wealthy men of society who did not want to be called thieves and be punished. This verse is very important. As stated here, one who accumulates more money than needed is a thief, and by the laws of nature, he will be punished. One who acquires more money than necessary becomes desirous of enjoying material comforts more and more. Materialists are inventing so many artificial necessities, and those who have money, being allured by such artificial necessities, try to accumulate money to possess more and more. This is the idea of modern economic development. Everyone is engaged in earning money, and the money is kept in the bank, which then offers money to the public. In this cycle of activities, everyone is engaged in getting more and more money, and therefore, the ideal goal of human life is being lost. Concisely, it may be said that everyone is a thief and is liable to be punished. Punishment by the laws of nature takes place in the cycle of birth and death. No one dies fully satisfied by the fulfillment of material desires, for that is not possible. Therefore, at the time of one's death, one is very sorry, being unable to fulfill his desires. By the laws of nature, one is then offered another body to fulfill his unsatisfied desires, and upon taking birth again, accepting another material body, one voluntarily accepts the threefold miseries of life. A lot many things have been packed into that purport. But let's step back a bit. So, at the beginning of this class, I gave a small overview of what this chapter is about. Ideal family life, as Prabhupada has titled this chapter 14. So, what is the goal of life? We could be in any ashram. We could be a brahmachari. We could be a grahastha householder. We could be a vanaprastha stage, or we could be a sannyasi. The goal of life remains the same. What is that goal of life? To serve and please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or his various expansions and incarnations. That is the purpose. That is the goal of life. Once we have pleased the Supreme Lord, then we have successfully accomplished the goal of life, and we don't need to exist on this material world any longer. We become qualified to be transported to the spiritual world to live with the spiritual Supreme Lord and his devotees eternally. So that is the goal of life. Okay, but we have so many duties as a householder, because normally this keeps coming up in multiple spiritual discussions. As a householder, oh, I have this duty, I have to raise my children, I have to take care of my spouse, I have to take care of my aging parents and aging in-laws and all those complications and complexities that come with that. If I have to do all these things, how can I do? And then my family members are not inclined towards a spiritual life. All these pose problems. to us householders. So how to navigate it is how, and then the normal phrase that is used is how to balance spiritual life and material life. Krishna, whatever Narada Muni is talking about in this verse, Krishna has spoken in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. There, Krishna says, all the necessities of life is being provided by the demigods like Indra, Chandra, Agni, Varuna, Vayu, air to breathe. Rainwater is the only water that we can drink. The Earth planet has lots of water, but it's saltish in nature. We cannot drink it. So we need rainwater for drinking. We need rainwater for growing crops, grains, and all that stuff. So Krishna says in chapter 3, all these facilities are being provided. And the duty of a human being is to acknowledge those who are giving these gifts. Because without this, we cannot even exist in this material world. But we think, oh, it's available. There's nobody behind it. But there is somebody behind it. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3. There are demigods. Because when I created this material universe, I sent into this material universe all the human beings, and along with them, I also sent demigods so that they can take care of all these material affairs to maintain this material universe and make it habitable for us living beings. So he gave that. So we are obligated to express our gratitude. The least basic form of courtesy is to say thank you. Do we say thank you to demigods? Oh, I don't see them. So if I see them, I'll say thank you. But even without seeing them, we can express our gratitude. That's what Krishna says in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. So he says we have to perform yajna to please and satisfy the Supreme Lord and the various demigods that are giving all these necessities of life. One who does it is a law abiding citizen. One who doesn't do any of these things, Krishna calls. It's a harsh word, and the same thing is being mentioned by Narada Muni here. Krishna calls such people thieves. We are just taking, and we are not even expressing our thanks. So that comes in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, which is talking about karma and karma yoga. So here also Narada Muni is talking about karma yoga because he is talking about householders. We are working, we are earning money. So what are we doing with the money that we are earning is the point that is being discussed. So when we have so yeah, we have to maintain ourselves. We have to pay our rent for our homes. We have to either pay mortgage for our homes. We have to pay the utility bills. We have to pay automobile insurance. We have to pay for health insurance. Where there are so many things we have to pay. Nobody disputes that. We have to pay that. And on top of that, we are left with some surplus. We keep it for some emergency purposes. Fine enough. And then there is some more surplus. What are we doing with that? Oh, I will splurge on enjoying. The enjoyment can take so many different forms. Oh, I want to go to this cruise, Alaskan cruise, Caribbean cruise. Oh, March has come. So we have been in winter. March is going to be good in Mexico. Oh, I will go to Cancun. I will go to Caribbean islands. I will go here. I will go there. Endlessly, we keep planning and we keep doing the same things again. And every year we do the same thing. Oh, I have some excess money. I will splurge on my own sense enjoyment. Here, Narada Muni calls such spending and such people to be thieves. So we have to keep that in mind. Maintaining ourselves, taking care of ourselves is not question. Nobody is asking us to live homeless and live on the streets. People immediately get anxious. No, that is not the point that is being talked about here. We are working, we are earning money, we can take care of our basic necessities of life. That's why the translation says, as much wealth as required to maintain body and soul together. So we need to exist comfortably. We don't need, we have to be healthy, so we have to eat. All those things are accounted for. So we can do that. But what are we doing with the surplus excess money that we have? Are we using it for our own sense enjoyment? Or are we doing some, if we are not using it for our own sense enjoyment, what is there to spend on? Prabhupada is talking about that in the purport. So he says it should be used in spreading bhakti, to spread knowledge about Lord Krishna, to spread knowledge about Bhagavad Gita. So all these things. So that's why Prabhupada is making this statement here. The Grahastha should give contributions for constructing temples of the Supreme Lord and for preaching of Srimad Bhagavad Gita or Krishna consciousness all over the world. He makes it more simpler. We are worried, oh, how can I serve Krishna? He's giving practical steps on how we can serve Krishna. Serving Krishna means reading and hearing about him every day regularly. That is number one duty for everybody in all the ashrams, brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasi, everybody. So that's why Prabhupada instituted that principle in ISKCON, that in the morning we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, in the evening we read from Bhagavad Gita every single day. And in between that, if the householders like us, we have a job to go to, so we can go and work and earn money to maintain ourselves and our family comfortably. But the morning program is Srimad Bhagavatam, Mangalarti, Srimad Bhagavatam chanting, and the evening program is Bhagavad Gita. So it's like a sandwich program. Our materialistic activity of going to work and earning money is sandwiched in between these two bhakti activities. So he is giving practical steps on how we can make this happen. Karma Yoga also Krishna talks about in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3. Whatever we do, we have to do it as an offering to Krishna, and the results of our activities has to be is meant only for the Supreme Lord Krishna. That is what Karma Yoga is about. So the same Karma Yoga principles are being talked about by Narada Muni here, and Prabhupada is simplifying it and making it step-by-step instruction for us to follow. Somebody is constructing temple for Krishna. Okay, let's support them. So we all did. We are living in this DC metro area, and our DC temple got built 1 year ago. Many of us on this call would have contributed in some way or other towards the temple. So we have been given an opportunity to actually practice what Prabhupada is talking about here. That's that's a great opportunity that we got. And then there are many who are engaged in outreach activities, preaching the glories of Lord Krishna, preaching the glories of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And so many devotees are giving classes on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So, as a householder, our duty is every day, like we are getting on this call, to read and hear about the Supreme Lord as explained by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita and as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why we read. So, earlier in this chapter, verses 3 and 4, this verse came Shrinvan Bhagavato. Shrinvan means to hear. To hear what? We can hear about so many things. Non-stop 24 by 7, we have internet, we have social media. So many things are being shown and talked about there. We can hear about that also. But Shunvan Bhagavataha. We have to hear about Bhagavan. Okay. Abhikshanam, he said, Narada Muni. This just came in the same chapter that we are reading now earlier, in the verses 3 and 4. Abhikshanam means always, again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Shunvan Bhagavataha Abhikshnam Avatara Katamritam. So we have to hear about Bhagavan and we have to hear about Bhagavan's avatars also. It's not okay, I'll just focus only on Krishna. No, Krishna and his expansions and his incarnations, everything. That is the complete package. So Shrinvan Bhagavataha Abhikshanam Avatara Katamritam. Avatara Katha. Why, how is that Katha? Amritam. So we have to hear again and again and again. Oh, I have read Bhagavad Gita, all chapter 18, 18 chapters. That's what Prabhupada says here, right? For example, even if we read the entire Bhagavad Gita every day, all 18 chapters, in each reading we shall find a new explanation. That is the nature of transcendental literature. Oh, I have read it. No, you read it again. Oh, I have read it again. Oh, again and again and again and again and again and again. Every time we read, we learn something new even in some normal mundane subject matters. And this is transcendental literature, spiritual literature. There are every time we read it is brand fresh new. Practical example. Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu some 530 years ago. One thing that he did regularly was hear from Canto 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj. He will hear it again and again and again and again. He will never get bored. He'll say, okay, I have heard it million times. I am like completely fed up with it. No, he did not say that. He was in ecstasy every single time. Oh, what a great devotee Prahlad Maharaj is. Oh, every single time you will keep hearing again and again and again. That's why Abhikshanam, always again and again, which is very important. That is the duty of a householder. And anybody who is doing such an activity, we should be supporting them, that either financially or in other ways. If just by attending we are supporting, and then when you host some programs and invite others to come and attend, it requires money. Nothing comes for free in this world. So we householders can donate towards such initiatives so that such programs can happen and more people can come to know about this and get benefited and take to a life of bhakti and get connected with Supreme Lord Krishna. So these are the duties of a grahastha, because the only person who is earning in the four ashrams is the grahastha. So it is the duty of such a grahastha to give in charity. So that's what Prabhupada is talking about with respect to that verse when Narada Muni is saying the accumulation of money and more accumulation of money just for sense gratification, such people are called thieves. So how can we not be called a thief when we engage in serving Krishna and Krishna's devotees who are working very hard to spread his messages? So that's what Prabhupada is talking about. Those are the small steps and bridge that he is constructing for us to understand and relate to this verse what Narada Muni is talking about. So, so he mentioned that. And then what happens if I do not do that? If I just use the excess money for my own sense gratification, for my own sense enjoyment. So Prabhupada mentions later on in the purport, such activities doesn't quench our material desires. Okay, I want to enjoy this, I want to enjoy that. I spend I work hard, earn money, and then I spend towards that to enjoy it. Oh, I am now fully satisfied. Such a thing never happens with material desires. That's why the Shastras say there is a burning, material desire is like a burning fire. To quench the burning fire, we cannot pour fuel on top of it. If I pour petrol on top of it, fire is not going to get quenched, rather, it's going to burn even more. So, when we are trying to fulfill our sense enjoyment, it is not going to be fully satisfactory. Because we say, oh, I want more. So it keeps fueling that more and more, and we have desires, unfulfilled material desires still left. So at the end of our life, we have, oh, we are so sorry. Oh, I couldn't fulfill all my desires. So Krishna is so kind enough. What he does, he gives us another material life, birth. We take birth again in this material world. We are given a material body again, and we go through that cycle repeatedly, eternally. We keep taking birth again and again and again and again, and we do abhikshanam in that. And that what happens? We eternally stuck in this material world. And what is this material world? Bhagavad Gita has Krishna has certified it. Dukkhalayam. It is a place of miseries and sufferings. So when we are taking birth again, we have to experience the miseries and sufferings being given by this material world. That is not an intelligent proposal. Oh, I wanted to only enjoy. My material desires are only for my enjoyment. But the nature of this material world is like that. We have to face miseries and sufferings as well without even desiring for it. That is why it is not an intelligent proposal. So that is why when we are using this excess money as a householder only for our sense enjoyment, we are called thieves, and thieves are punished by the laws of material nature. And we have to take birth again, and we have to face miseries and sufferings again, and it perpetually goes on. It never stops. We think that at one point it will stop. No, yet it goes on eternally. How to put a full stop to that? By following what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita about Karma Yoga, and what Narada Muni is talking about here, and what Prabhupada so mercifully is expanding upon. So that is one portion. These are the duties of the householder. So then in the next verse, text 9, Narada Muni is continuing. मृगोष्ट्रकरमर्काकु सरीसृपः मक्षिकः आत्मनः पुत्रवत् पश्येत् तैरेषामन्तरं कियत्. One should treat animals such as deer, camels, asses, monkeys, mice, snakes, birds, and flies exactly like one's own son. How little difference there actually is between children and these innocent animals. Purport. One who is in Krishna consciousness understands that there is no difference between the animals and the innocent children in one's home. Even in ordinary life, it is our practical experience that a household dog or cat is regarded on the same level as one's children without any envy. Like children, the unintelligent animals are also sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore, a Krishna conscious person, even though a householder, should not discriminate between children and poor animals. Unfortunately, modern society has devised many means for killing animals in different forms of life. For example, in the agricultural fields, there may be many mice, flies, and other creatures that disturb production, and sometimes they are killed by pesticides. In this verse, however, such killing is forbidden. Every living entity should be nourished by the food given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Human society should not consider itself the only enjoyer of all the properties of God. Rather, men should understand that all the other animals also have a claim to God's property. In this verse, even the snake is mentioned, indicating that a householder should not be envious even of a snake. If everyone is fully satisfied by eating food that is a gift from the Lord, why should there be envy between one living being and another? In modern days, people are very much inclined toward communistic ideas of society, but we do not think that there can be any better communistic idea than that which is explained in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Even in the communistic countries, the poor animals are killed without consideration, although they also should have the right to take their allotted food with which to live. Ishopanishad mantra says, right? Each living being in this universe has a specific allotted quota. Every living being, we think that it is applicable only for humans. That is a very narrow conception. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham bija pradapita. I am the seed giving father of human beings. No, he did not say that. I am the seed giving father of all living beings. So every living entity, whether it be a snake, whether it be a deer, whether it be a mice, whether it be a dog, whether it be a cat, whether it be a pig, whether it be a tree, a plant, worm, birds, aquatics, no problem. All of them are children of the Supreme Lord. That is why Narada Muni is saying one should treat all these animals like one's own son, because Krishna is treating them as their own children, as his own children. So when we are saying, oh, I am a devotee of Krishna, I am a devotee of Rama, and I am ignoring all these other living beings who are his children, then how can I call myself a child of God? It is hypocrisy. That is what Narada Muni is pointing out. And who is in a position to take care of all these? The householders, those who are in the Grahastha ashram. So that is how we should see. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Pandita Samadarshinaha. Yeah, they are tiger, they are lion, but inside that, they are spiritual souls just like us. They are in a different material body, and they have a right to coexist along with us. If we do not see that and we just see them as inconvenience and then wipe them out, kill them just for my own benefit and comfort, then I am doing wrong. Yeah, but at the same time, there are some vicious, venomous snakes. And if it comes into the home, we can take proper measures even at that time to get that snake removed. There are so many pest control uh, hotlines available. We have to pay, but once we pay, they will come and grab even venomous snakes and take them and leave them out in the forest areas where they can live peacefully. Only if it is causing danger to the life of people living in that home, we have the right to kill that snake. Otherwise, we don't have that right. So here Narada Muni is talking about even the snakes, birds, flies, monkeys, mice, donkeys, camels, deer, any living being, they have to be treated like our own children. They have to be taken care of. So that is another duty he is saying of an ideal grahastha. So later on in that purport, Prabhupada was talking about the communism idea that is prevalent in certain parts of the world. Communism, what does it talk about? Everybody have equal share in the resources of the country, but that everybody is restricted only to humans. But here Prabhupada is talking about spiritual communism, where we see that all the living beings are children of God because God claims them to be so. Aham bija pradapita. So he says, "Oh, I am the seed-giving father of all living beings. So all of them are my children." So a Grahastha also, when the Grahastha is saying, "Oh, I am a devotee." So a devotee should fulfill the desire of the Supreme Lord. He says, all the living beings are my children. So the Grahastha will step up and say, okay, I will also do the best possible. And if each Grahastha steps up like that, so many of these living beings can be taken care of without any problem or without any big expense. So that's what Narada Muni is talking about, and that's what Prabhupada is amplifying a bit more. We will read these words and stop there for today. Text 10. Trivargam नातिकृच्छ्रेण भजेत भजेत गृहमेद्यपि यथा देशं यथा कालं यावद्दैवोपपादितम्. Even if one is a householder rather than a brahmachari, a sannyasi, or a vanaprastha, one should not endeavor very hard for religiosity, economic development, or satisfaction of the senses. Even in householder life, one should be satisfied to maintain body and soul together with whatever is available with minimum endeavor, according to place and time, by the grace of the Lord. One should not engage oneself in ugra karma. So, minimum endeavor, that is the key principle there. Whatever is available with minimum, we don't need to do over and over. Atyahara, Rupa Goswami talks about in Upadeshamrita. Atyahara is not good because once we get into that, oh, I will work more, I can earn more, I will work more, I can earn more, then finally it's, oh, I don't have time, I don't have energy, I'm exhausted, I am tired, I cannot attend all these spiritual discourses. Then what is the point? And that shows lack of intelligence and shows ignorance. So, but many humans in this world are living a life like that. So I will work more so that I can earn more, so that I can enjoy more. I will work more, earn more, enjoy more. That program is not a good program, is what Sri Narada Muni is saying here. Okay, let's read this purport. In human life, there are four principles to be fulfilled: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. First, one should be religious, observing various rules and regulations, and then one must earn some money for maintenance of his family and the satisfaction of his senses. The most important ceremony for sense gratification is marriage because sexual intercourse is one of the principal necessities of the material body. Yan maitunadi grihamedi sukham hi tucham. Although sexual intercourse is not a very exalted requisite in life, both animals and men require some sense gratification because of material propensities. One should be satisfied with married life and not expend energy for extra sense gratification or sex life. As for economic development, the responsibility for this should be entrusted mainly to the Vaishyas and Grahasthas. Human society should be divided into varnas and ashramas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. Economic development is necessary for Grihasthas. Brahmana Grihasthas should be satisfied with a life of Adhyayana, Adhyapana, Yajana, and Yajana. Being learned scholars, teaching others to be scholars, learning how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, and also teaching others how to worship Lord Vishnu or even the demigods. Those are the four. We have to be, we are Grahasthas, but especially in the Grahastha ashram, there are so many samskaras and there are also Diksha process for spirituality. And one of the Diksha process is the Brahminical initiation. So the such grahasthas are the Brahmana grahasthas that Prabhupada is referring to. So, what they should be doing? They should learn scriptures, especially Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Valmiki Ramayanam. Those are very important. And not only being learned, they also have to teach so that others can also become learned. And they also have to learn how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the proper way to worship? We might have uh, deities in our home, vigrahas or murtis in our home, and we have deities in the temple. There are certain process in which we should worship Pancharatrika Vidhi. So we have to learn how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we also have to teach others how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these four has to be done by grahasthas, especially who are Brahmana grahasthas. A Brahmana should do this without remuneration. We have, that's why in ISKCON we have all these trainings. Particularly in our ISKCON of DC, every year we do Pujari training. We request all the pujaris to come and take training because we have to be we should know, and we should also train others to know so that they are also competent enough to train others. And all these things are done without charging any fee. We are not charging any, and even if I am doing it personally, we don't charge money, we just do it as a service. That's why a brahmana should do this without remuneration. Otherwise we make it a commercial business. Oh, there is, this is a very lucrative, oh, lots of people are interested in learning Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, let me charge money and let me live a comfortable life and enjoy life. No, that is not the process. The process is to do it without any remuneration. But he is allowed to accept charity from a person whom he teaches how to be a human being. But the student, out of gratitude for the teacher, might give some charity. That is fine. That is, but it's not, and for it's not like expected. Oh, I am teaching you, so you should pay me something. No, that is not the process. But the process is the student or a disciple will give some kind of a charity out of gratitude for what he or she has received to the teacher or guru. As for the Kshatriyas, they are supposed to be kings of the land, and the land should be distributed to the Vaishyas for agricultural activities, cow protection, and trade. Kishi Go Rakshaha. That is the duty of a Vaishya, one who is in a Vaishya ashram. Shudras must work. Sometimes they should engage in occupational duties as cloth manufacturers, weavers, blacksmiths, goldsmiths, brassmiths, and so on. Or else they should engage in hard labor to produce food grains. These are different occupational duties by which men should earn their livelihood, and in this way, human society should be simple. At the present moment, however, everyone is engaged in technological advancement, which is described in Bhagavad Gita as Ugra Karma, extremely severe endeavor. This Ugra Karma is the cause of agitation within the human mind. Men are engaging in many sinful activities and becoming degraded by opening slaughterhouses, breweries, and cigarette factories, as well as nightclubs and other establishments for sense enjoyment. In this way, they are spoiling their lives. In all of these activities, of course, householders are involved, and therefore it is advised here with the use of the word api that even though one is a householder, one should not engage himself
थोड़े को मैंने काम दे दिया भाई तुम
in severe hardships. Somebody is speaking. Can you please mute your phones? One should not engage himself in severe hardships. One's means of livelihood should be extremely simple. As for those who are not grihasthas, the brahmacharis, the vanaprasthas, and sannyasis, they don't have to do anything but strive for advancement in spiritual life. This means that three-fourths of the entire population should stop sense gratification and simply be engaged in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. Only 1/4 of the population should be grahastha, and that should be according to laws of restricted sense gratification. The grihasthas, vanaprasthas, brahmacharis, and sannyasis should endeavor together with their total energy to become Krishna conscious. This type of civilization is called Daivi Varnashrama. One of the objectives of the Krishna consciousness movement is to establish this Daivi Varnashrama, but not to encourage so called Varnashrama without scientifically organized endeavor by human society. Okay, I will just give a small summary of this. What basically we are expected to do, particularly in the Grahastha ashram. Because in other ashrams, Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, there are no distractions. They are engaging more with main focus on advancing in their spiritual life. There are no other material entanglements. But we as a householder, we have a family, we have a spouse, we have children, we have parents, we have to take care of them, we have these duties, all those things are there. And we also have to work to earn money. So lots of our time and energy are getting pulled in various different directions. So what to do? I can either do this or do that. That is the normal dilemma proposed by the mind. When the mind is so strong than us, the mind is this question comes. Either I can do this or either I can do that. Either this or that. Whenever we come across a situation like that, we have to clearly understand that our mind has become so strong and it's trying to dictate to us. So we have to take the help of Bhagavad Gita and senior Vaishnavas and devotees and help us overcome this strong mind, because we have to be the boss. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita very clearly. Scriptures should guide the intelligence and sharpen the intelligence, and such a sharpened intelligence should guide the mind, and the mind should guide and control the senses. That is the proper hierarchy. And Atma should be at the top doing all these things. But we normally find ourselves at the bottom, totally inverted, and say mind and senses are dictating, and the Atma, we, the living being, are like just following the instructions and pushings and pullings of the mind and the senses. That is materialistic way of life. It is called Go Dasa. Rather, we should be Goswami. We should be the master and controlling our mind and senses. Okay, but what is the purpose of all these things? When we are trying to perform, we are doing so many activities. We are doing our job, we are taking care of our family, we are trying to practice bhakti. But while doing all these things, what is our mood? I am doing it. So Krishna again says that in Bhagavad Gita, Ahankara Vimudatma Kartaham iti manyate. I think out of my ignorance, I think I am doing it. I am the only controller. I am the only proprietor. And we bring that tendency into bhakti activities also. So what do? We, oh, I am doing it. But where is the sense of dependence on the Supreme Lord and the Guru Parampara, all the acharyas? We, that sense of dependence is key for us, especially we are householders and we are trying to practice bhakti. That key of dependence on Krishna, we have to keep that focus, because later on in this chapter Narada Muni is going to talk about that and Prabhupada is going to expand on that. key of being dependent on Krishna. That is the key to success in our bhakti. Oh, I am doing it, I am smart enough, I am intelligent enough, I am this, I am that. No, all where did all that come from? My intelligence, my capability, my strength, my resources, all that came from Krishna. So that is very easy when we think like that to say, oh, I am, even for me to get that, I am dependent on Krishna. And all the other necessities of life that we talked about at the beginning of this chapter, that came from Krishna. So, and then when we are trying to practice bhakti, Krishna is going to test us how much we are depending on him. So there will be a gap. We have certain capability, we can reach up to 70%, and the remaining 30% is the gap. Are we depending on Krishna to overcome that gap, or are we trying to rely on our own ourselves to overcome that gap? That determines success in becoming a devotee or not. So we have to learn to be dependent on Krishna. Yeah, we have to do things, but we do it in a mode of dependence on Krishna. So that is the secret key to understand this entire chapter and to be successful in our bhakti life also. So I will wrap up there and see if there is any discussion, because we covered quite a good amount of ground on those three verses and those huge purports.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Geeta. Thank you so much for this wonderful class. Thank you so much. Though it creates a little bit of confusion because, in theory, what you said, one has been hearing this and surrender to the Lord, and he will definitely take care of his devotees and stuff like that. But in today's so we don't know, I don't know, actually it's a very fine line, because one doesn't know, especially in today's world. I'm 60 plus, is that how long one is going to live, my question. And when health issues come up, how much should we keep safe? How much money will we need?
Yeah,
What is extra? I mean, there is insecurity. Uh, how much to surrender and how much we have to do our part, but one doesn't understand how much is our part to keep. So these are things when one attends these classes, yeah, one wants to put it into practice. But what is your suggestion, Prabhuji?
I talked about that when I was talking today, explaining, yeah, we have to take care of our rent or mortgage, we have to take care of our utility bills, we have to take care of our automobile insurance, health insurance, this insurance, that insurance, all those things have to. And then as you pointed out, as we are getting older, we have to also take care of our health, and we do not know what is going to come up in the future. So we need to provision for that. So all those things are fine. But let's step back. We are talking about as a devotee, I want to do this, and I'm getting split and pulled in two different directions. Let's talk about just like a person who wants to enjoy. The same things exist even for that person, but we don't. Such persons, even, yeah, they might plan for all these things, but still they are trying to enjoy in currently. They are spending money for their sense enjoyment in various different ways. So irrespective of it, are they not worrying about their future? They also worry about, oh, I am getting old, I have to take care of health, I have to do this, I have to do that. All those things are there. But currently, today or this year, what can I do little bit towards serving Krishna? Oh, next year is again another year. Okay, next year what I can do. So like that, instead of me spending just for my sensual enjoyment, what can I do a little bit towards serving Krishna? Little bit. And we all know what our life circumstances are, how much the expenses are, and where our health is, all those things, and what it takes to maintain our health, to take care of unforeseen emergencies. We all know, we have lived in this world. we are continuing to live in this world, so we know what it takes, so we can plan for that. But the thing that is being talked about is, in addition to that, what I can do a little bit towards, and we are, most of us are doing. That's why I gave the example of coming together to donate something towards the construction of the new temple building for ISKCON of DC. So we all do. So we can do that. So we don't need to get anxious or worried about that when we are talking about our basic health and basic necessities of life, because the verses that we talked about also talked about that, what is needed to hold life and soul together. But anything in excess, well, we have to plan for our future emergencies. That is fine. That is also accounted for. Anything surplus to that, what am I doing with that? Oh, now I have something left. Oh, unexpectedly, I got some bonus. What am I going to do with that? Okay, let me plan a Caribbean cruise. Which is fine because that's their hard-earned money. But what is the consequence of doing that, such kind of a sense gratification activity, as, oh, I can save something for the future health emergencies and other emergencies, and there will be some amount that is left. Okay, I can do $100 a month to the temple or to some guru. Like that, we have multiple options. So we are encouraged to start thinking from a new perspective. That is the purpose of all these, because we have been used to thinking in the material perspective. Now they are helping us to come up, but that doesn't mean that we are impractical. That is the point that I am trying to stress. We don't need to be impractical. There are practical necessities that we have to take care of. We can account for that. In addition to that, there will be a surplus, definitely. What are we doing with that? That is the main question that each one of us have to contemplate and make a decision on. Hope that helps, Mataji.
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Definitely. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, taking your time to giving me such a nice wisdom. I know everybody is busy, and I know you also, but thank you so much for taking your time this morning and giving wisdom from ours. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I just returned from India yesterday.
Thank you.
Then I was visiting Ayodhya, Chitrakoot, Prayag, and Kashi. So it was a very hectic, short trip, but it was a fulfilling trip. And the moment I landed, I got a call from Shamrasika Mataji that there is a speaker that was supposed to give class today was not available, and can I speak? So I said, okay, I will.
So
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
can we see from your eyes next class what did you saw and how did you experience next class? If you can tell us, that will be very nice.
Yeah, when situation presents, or like when we, whatever verses we are going to discuss, it's applicable, I will share some. But most of what I was talking today, I would also say it's an outcome of that uh, pilgrimage trip, to see and experience and correlate that with the challenges that we, especially the householders, face. I was thinking a lot and praying a lot about that, because not only with this group, I interact with so many other groups, and the common theme that I see, especially from the householders, is, oh, my kid, my children, my spouse, my this, my that, and my job, all those things. So yeah, all through the, right before the, yeah, I started the yatra, those things were on my mind, and through that yatra, it was like a meditation and prayers at all these places to Lord Ram and others. And then finally, when I came back, it became more crystal clear. And then Shamarasiga Mataji called me and then said, Canto 7, Chapter 14. Then when I opened that chapter, the answer from Krishna was there in those verses. So then I was reading them and then I was thinking about that. So most of what I talked about is the outcome of my experiences. But yeah, it's not a specific, oh, I saw this, but it was more on a subtle level. So that's what I shared with all of you today.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, actually, I have a continuing small question. Is that what we discussed just now, or what you explained to me? But the part of surrender to the Lord, we are accounting for ourselves for all the emergencies and all. But where is the surrender part? Like this, okay, now this, when if we are accounting for it, then there is no surrender, right?
No. I think the conception of surrender doesn't seem to be clear to you based on your question. Surrender means following the instructions of Krishna. So it starts with a step-by-step thing. So what is the first thing he is asking us to do? Shrinvan Bhagavataha. So we have to read and hear about the Supreme Lord every day. That's the purpose of this daily call. So we all come together, we all chant and hear the holy names of the Lord, and then we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the purpose. So first step is that. So let's do that sincerely. Once we do that, the next step becomes very clear. So subsequently, it is a gradual step by step. That is surrender. So we are doing the first step. There is nothing wrong in that. And then let's do that. And while doing that step, how can I follow this principle of saving for myself, my emergency situations? And remember the one thing: we are not vanaprasthas, we are not sannyasis, we are householders. So we have certain necessities of life that we have to take care of. So by doing that, we don't need to feel guilty that we are not surrendering properly. We are in still step one. We are elementary school. Let's do that properly under the guidance of experienced devotees, and then next step becomes clear. Let's come to that step, and then like that we can even talk about, oh, I'm not even anxious about, I'm not even worried about all these other expenses. We will come to that stage too. That is also possible, but let's not run ahead. Let's take it step at a time.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. And also, Prabhuji, I just wanted to ask you how much time did you spend in Chitrakoot?
2 days.
2 days. Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Partha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dhanat Pranam, all goes to Sri Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam.
Such a nectarian class about the duties in the Grihastha Dharma, the Grihastha Ashram. So I wanted to know whether Grihastha Ashram duties include providing for the children when they're grown up.
When they are grown up, what is the need for a parent to provide? We are providing when they are growing up. We are providing so many different things. We are providing them food, nutrition. We are providing them care and comfort. We are providing them education. When all those things are done, they should have been educated to find a job and be financially independent. What is the need for a grown-up children to be provided for by a parent?
So till when should the parents provide for the children?
Was until they are financially independent. Spending and taking care of you to provide you education. Education doesn't come free in this country, especially college education is very expensive.
But then case maybe they're not never financially independent.
That is the problem of the parent then. It's not a proper parenting. They have not learned properly. The children have not learned properly. They should know that I cannot be just drawing from my parents' hard work. No, that is not correct.
Yeah, I mean, in this scripture, in these slokas, there's no reference for providing for the children beyond.
Because there is no
some class.
necessity. There was no necessity to be explicit. Once they have become adults, they can think for themselves, they can take care of themselves. What is the necessity of a parent to take care of such an, unless otherwise the child has some special needs? Most of the other children don't have special needs. They are not special need children to be taken care of even when they are in adult stage. That's why I said that is the mistake in the parenting. They have been so pampering in their childhood. Every single thing has been taken care of them. There's a term in the modern world called parachute parenting. Every single thing the parent parachutes in and then starts helping the kid. Let the kid learn. We are there to provide the support even when they are growing up. But parenting should be proper. And the kid should say, okay, I have completed my college education. I have found a job. I'm not financially dependent on my parents anymore. That is the proper upbringing. Parent cannot keep on. Yeah, if they're a special need child, I can understand. But if not, the parent should now focus only on their retirement and just them and the spouse, just the two of them.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So as a parent, we should start working towards that goal. Yeah, we are thinking, oh, I'm putting them in school. Yeah, they are studying well. Okay, after that, what are they going to do? Oh, I'm just going to sit at home. No, that is not going to be encouraged. They should get a clear message about that.
I'm contrasting between modern day lifestyle and the modern day priorities and the olden days Vedic lifestyle priorities. Olden days there used to be a lot of children, but the parents were not overly worried about taking care of.
I get your point. You are coming back to the same thing. I will give you an example. What did Krishna tell Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna was lamenting about this, that, and I said, I will not do my activity. He said, why you are talking like you are speaking well learned words, but you are speaking like a fool. That's what it amounts to. Nobody can be oh, I will just sit idle. Krishna said, nobody can sit idle. Inaction is not possible. The people have to be performing activities. So even in Vedic lifestyle, nobody was just sitting idle. They will recognize what their natural propensity is, and they will be trained and groomed, and they will be engaged properly. They have to be an active contributor to the society. That's not something like I will sit idle and then food will come to me. No, such kind of a thing was not encouraged.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there used to. I'm contrasting the lifestyle then and the culture then and the culture now.
Yeah, when you are contrasting, you should not miss this point, is what I am emphasizing. Idling is not encouraged. Whether it was during those times or today, idling is not encouraged.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Everybody has to follow the Swadharma. That is very correct.
So, as a parent, how can I help my children to be active?
Yeah. No, my question is, say, so to today's day and age, people seem to, at least Indian origin parents, seem to be overtly bothered about only one or two children, whereas in olden days people used to be quite botherless about maybe 5 children, 10 children. They used to grow up on their own, and then and people, parents were not overtly worried. Unlike the way it is now, only for 1 or 2 children, they're too much worried. Uh, they're
No. Let me stop you there. Each parent knows what they are capable of providing. So it might be only one child for that person. It might be two children for another parent. It might be three children for another parent. They know what their capability is, what their capacity is to take care of, because nothing comes free. They have to spend money to take care of that. So we have to, when you are contrasting, you also have to look at the current times and what it takes to maintain a family in different parts of the world. So according to that, the parents might decide, okay, only one child is enough for me because I'm not financially capable enough to support more than one child. So just because Vedic civilization in the olden days, our grandparents and their parents, they had like 7 children, 10 children. We cannot have the same thing now unless I can financially support them. So that aspect is also there.
Earlier days, beyond their basic grooming and basic samskriti, sanskar, beyond that, parents were not bothered much, and the children used to grow up and they used to stand on
But
their own.
you are missing the point. You are comparing and contrasting. You have to take the context also, is what I'm trying to say. When you are saying that those days, the financial situations, the nature of finding a job, and it was totally different. And you are trying to now bring that principle into the modern day. The modern day context is totally different. And we don't need to be so critical of other parents. If you want, as a parent, if you want to have more children, go ahead, but also be prudent enough to see, do I have the financial resources to take care of them properly, all of them? That point should be there. There was one according to time, place was one of the verses that we read today. So we have to keep that in mind. There is a principle, and there are details according to time and place, because your life situation is different. We are living in the same time period, but your life situation, circumstance is different, my circumstance is different. So according to time, place, and circumstance, the principle has to be applied. So if I am not capable of doing that, I need a guidance of some experienced devotee or a guru who can tell me what to do. That's why Narada Muni is saying according to time and place. Today we read that verse.
Yes, if I may add, Prabhuji, I think in olden times, even when they had large families, parents always included other family members when they were their children, their relatives' children, if they lost out on their parents. There was more give and take. They would bring up a child who'd lost both the parents, or somebody from today. Nobody wants to do that. They don't. They're very, I mean, we have become more selfish.
Yeah, it's true. That's what I said. Time, place, and circumstance. It's changing. And finance, how I am earning my livelihood, that is changing rapidly. And what I am capable of earning, that is changing. And according to what I have to make a decision. So that the 2 points I'm again emphasizing, we don't need to be critical of others. We can only use these principles to look at ourselves, our life, and then, oh yeah, others might be doing it correctly or incorrectly. Yeah, they need to notice that, and then they need, oh, I need some wisdom, I need some knowledge, who can guide me, or I should, do I have that knowledge, do I have that wisdom? People think that I am smart enough, I can figure out, I don't need to have children, oh, I will just live a life like this. People are making so many different decisions. Some of them could be correct, some of them could be incorrect, but I'm not here sitting as a judge and being critical of their choices or decisions, but I'm trying to learn what I can apply in my own life. Anything else?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Always nice to hear from you, Raghunath Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is about spiritual communism, treating everybody the same. Now, yeah, Adhira always treats everyone the same. We know that from Bhagavad Gita. And we also know Yetamam Prapadyante. So there is discrimination also. So how can we understand these two concepts of discrimination and equanimity? Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, Krishna shows that by his own example. So spiritual communism, you said, treating everybody the same. Here the sameness is everybody is the children of Krishna. And specifically Narada Muni is saying everybody has our own children. So that is the sameness. Again, eyatamam prapadyante. So Krishna, everybody is children. So he is providing for all the basic necessities without even asking for it. But he provides extra care to those that are turning to me and say, I need your help. So devotees say, oh, I cannot do it on my own. Krishna, I'm helpless. I'm struggling. Please help me. So Krishna immediately comes as a loving parent and says, okay, I'm here. So that's what that is the main thing that I was touching upon when I was concluding the talk today. The mood of dependence on Krishna. So depending upon the mood, how much a living entity is dependent on Krishna, to that extent Krishna is reciprocating. Yeah, it's the verse you quoted, ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. So that is that. So your main thrust of the question was, how can we practice that? So Krishna is showing by his own example. So when we are with devotees, we go a little more above and beyond in serving them, taking care of them, helping them if even if needed. So we do that because we know they are devotees of Krishna. They are very special and very rare in this world. And then there are other people who are ignorant and innocent. So we extend our care and compassion to them. Even though they are not asking for help, we are extending care and compassion. But there are those people who are very envious and who are very harsh and aggressive. So we stay away from them. We keep the distance. So that's what happens, right? Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. So that is how we apply the principle of eyatamam prapadyante in our own lives. So we know who those who are favorable or those who are innocent, we extend our care and compassion.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Again, also one consideration is are we dependent on things that we can independently do? That's also like the
I will
question
give
from
you an
Partha
example.
Prabhuji about kids.
Yeah, I will give you an example from Canto 1 Srimad Bhagavatam. Ashwatthama has let loose the Brahmastra. Pandavas know the Brahmastra is coming. They are not ignorant. They have been trained in military warfare by none other than Dronacharya. But they know how to tackle it. They know how to over neutralize it. But the first thing they did was turn to Krishna and ask, what is this? What is going on? What is happening? And then they offer their obeisances, they offer their prayers to Krishna, and then take the guidance from Krishna on what to do. That is being dependent. That it's not like I do not know. Oh, I know it, I will act independently. Even if I am knowing, how am I acting, conducting myself? Whenever we are in front of a guru, what does the Shastra say? We should treat ourselves that like a fool, that we do not know anything. So that is to cultivate and strengthen that mood of dependence on Guru and Guru's instructions. So same thing. So we can follow the example of the Pandavas. We are in safe position. They show exactly how to practice that mode of dependence on Krishna. They did not think, oh, I know it. I know how to counteract and neutralize the Brahmastra. Even though they knew it, they offered obeisances and prayers. So we can do the same thing. Whatever position we are in, challenges, we know we have to think and come up with a solution. But before doing that, we can offer obeisances to Guru and Krishna, pray to them to give us suitable intelligence to come up with a proper solution, and then address the situation.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I was just thinking about the example Partha Prabhuji mentioned about kids who can take care of themselves, but they are trying to be dependent on the parents. So, parents feel that, oh, why is this kid doing this? So will Krishna feel the same way if we are dependent on him for things that we can do by ourselves?
No, it doesn't. Even though we can do by ourselves, how did Krishna reciprocate to Arjuna? He said, oh, you know all it already. Why are you coming and bothering me? He did not say that. He said, okay, this is what it is. This is what it is. And then, so a loving parent doesn't think like that. When it is based on love, it doesn't feel like a burden. So love should be the basis. Even when we are interacting with our children, or when we are scolding and correcting our children, the child should feel the love in us. It's not like we are torturing or punishing you. I will make you pay for it. Then they will feel only that. But if it comes from a place of love, where even when there is chastisement, when there is correction, the child doesn't feel, oh, I am being put down. Rather, they will feel that loving embrace, even though when they are feeling chastised. But it's not it's not a thing that we can just acquire. We have to go through the process and become better and better at it.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I have related kind of extension
Uh-huh.
question. Is like once there was a Bhagavad Gita class. We were soliciting people. One of them said, "No, I have to take my child to the soccer class, or rather the whatever some
Okay.
competitive sports class."
Mhm.
So is that the correct Vivek, and the decision was correct?
No, priorities. We see. We are trying to say. Don't look at the others. They are having misplaced priorities. But as a practicing devotee or a person trying to become a devotee, we know what priorities are. So we have to say, okay, this is the priority for. So we act accordingly. We do all the other things at other times when it is not conflicting. So otherwise, oh yeah, the class can be at other time too, or we can have the Bhagavad Gita class at another time so that those people also can come and attend. So there is flexibility, but when we understand the importance, there is flexibility. Oh, their classes are fixed for their kids, so they cannot attend at this time. So I'll be flexible and have the class at some other time. So let's see what other reason they come up with. So things like that has to happen. It's not like a cookie cutter thing.
Yes, I mean, Prabhupada said, and it is correct that our practice is the most. I mean, we're aiming for Krishna Prema, which is the most rarest of the rare. So, I mean,
What about Krishna Prema? We do not even know the step one yet completely.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
So
what I'm saying.
we are trying to become better in step one. We are in LKG. We are in kindergarten. So now we have to do better in kindergarten to get promoted to the next level and 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 so on.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, the scriptures, the Rasa Granthas, our Acharya teachings in terms of Saranagati, and there's a stark difference between the practice that a regular average sadhaka in the society has to, I mean, follows as a,
No,
as a matter of
see,
fact.
let me
versus the-
all your points and questions that you are raising indicates one thing. We are talking about a very high reality, far out there, and nobody disputes that. And each one of us might be at various different levels. That's also fine. Nobody is expecting us to be at the Paramahamsa stage right now. We, each one of us, are at some stage, and from that stage we have to start moving to that, towards that higher stage. Please keep that in mind clearly. Each one of us are at various different levels, and from that level we are trying to move step by step towards the highest stage. You are talking about Krishna Prema and all the higher principles. Nobody is disputing or denying that. It is there, but we are not there yet. We are at some stage way down below here, and from that level we are slowly taking step by step to move towards that highest stage. So give people that space, that time, they will move. It's look at your movement. Are you at the Paramahamsa stage? No. Am I at the Paramahamsa stage? No. We are all at some level moving towards that direction step by step. So please keep that in mind.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
I think
Hare
it's
Krishna, Prabhuji.
time.
Thank you so much for this nectar class. And after just coming to from India, you landed and I called you. So sorry about that, Prabhuji. But usually, whenever we come from India, we are in different mood, like in transition stage, like and jet lag. But you so kindly and dedicatedly accepted our request and gave such a wonderful class and explanation about this as a householders. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. And yeah, for next class, we would like to hear more realization about Chitrakoot, Ayodhya, and your experiences from there. So, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Yeah, if nobody has any question or comment, we can end up the call here. We took a lot of your time, Prabhuji, today.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय।
Jai,
आचार्य श्रीदास ठाकुर की जय।
Jai,
प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai,
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
Jai,
रघुनंदन दास प्रभु की जय।
Jai,
So much.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hari bol.
Krishna.
Hari bol.
Thank you, all of
Hare
you. Hare
For
Krishna.
the wonderful class. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for your association. Hare Krishna.